There are moments when even the most seasoned reporters forget to breathe. Moments when professionalism briefly melts, cameras shake, and words fail to come out smoothly, not because of a lack of experience, but because the subject standing just a few meters away radiates an undeniable presence. Today, that moment belongs to Jungkook of BTS. The video that has taken over social media today did not explode because of clever editing or dramatic background music. It went viral because of something far more powerful and far more human: raw charm, effortless magnetism, and the quiet storm that Jungkook brings simply by existing. The scene unfolds at Incheon International Airport, continues through a brief transit in Dubai, and finally reaches Lisbon, yet every second of the footage feels electric, as if time itself slowed down just to watch him pass. From the very first frame, it becomes clear why the internet is in chaos. Jungkook walks through the airport not as someone trying to steal attention, but as someone who naturally commands it. His posture is relaxed, his expression calm, almost gentle. There is no exaggerated gesture, no forced smile, no attempt to perform, and yet everything about him pulls the eyes in. The camera follows instinctively, not because the reporter intends to focus on him, but because it feels impossible not to. Fans immediately noticed it. Comment sections flooded within minutes of the video surfacing. "It's not the cameraman's fault," one fan wrote. "If Jungkook walks by, your lens follows him automatically." Another comment echoed the same sentiment. "This isn't bias, this is gravity." The video shows Jungkook alongside the BTS members, moving as a unit yet somehow standing out in a way that feels both unfair and inevitable. At Incheon Airport, their departure is calm but charged. The members are dressed casually, each reflecting their own style, but Jungkook's presence feels particularly luminous. His simple outfit, understated yet perfectly fitted, highlights his natural proportions. Nothing screams luxury, yet everything whispers confidence. What makes this moment so compelling is not extravagance but restraint. Jungkook does not wave dramatically. He does not look for the camera. His eyes briefly scan the surroundings, acknowledging the fans and staff with a quiet respect. And still, every movement becomes a focal point. A slight nod, a subtle smile, the way he adjusts his bag strap. Small gestures magnified by the collective attention of millions. As the group transits through Dubai, the atmosphere shifts, but the effect remains the same. Different airport, different lighting, different crowd, yet Jungkook's aura remains untouched. The Dubai transit footage, though shorter, adds another layer to the viral narrative. The warm lights of the terminal reflect softly against his features, creating visuals that fans quickly described as cinematic without trying. Some clips show Jungkook walking slightly behind the members, others show him at the center. Regardless of position, eyes follow him. Even people unfamiliar with BTS began sharing the video, asking the same question repeatedly: "Who is he?" That question alone explains the scale of his impact. This was not just a BTS moment. This was a Jungkook moment crossing fandom boundaries. By the time the group arrives in Lisbon, the story has already grown larger than a simple airport sighting. Fans across Europe are waiting. News pages begin posting screenshots from the video. Reaction videos start popping up within hours. The narrative forms almost instantly. Jungkook didn't try to go viral, he simply existed and the world reacted. Lisbon's airport footage shows a slightly more relaxed Jungkook, perhaps softened by the journey, perhaps energized by the change of atmosphere. There's a brief moment where he glances sideways, lips curving into a small smile as if aware of the attention but choosing not to acknowledge it directly. That single second has already been clipped, looped, slowed down, and shared thousands of times. What truly sets this viral moment apart is the emotional undercurrent. Fans are not just screaming about visuals, they are talking about presence, about how Jungkook feels both untouchable and deeply human at the same time. He walks like someone comfortable in his own skin, someone who has grown into fame without being consumed by it. Many reporters present that day later commented, off-camera, informally, about how difficult it was to remain neutral, not because Jungkook demanded attention but because his energy naturally pulled focus. This is not something that can be trained or manufactured. It is something that comes from years of discipline, humility, and an inner balance that radiates outward. The BTS members themselves appear accustomed to this phenomenon. There is no jealousy, no tension, only quiet camaraderie. They move together smoothly, occasionally exchanging glances or brief words, grounded in years of shared experiences. Jungkook is not isolated from them, he is anchored by them. And perhaps that is what makes his magnetism even stronger. He shines without overshadowing, stands out without separating himself. Social media today feels like a collective confession. Fans admit they replayed the video just one more time and then lost count. Non-fans admit they didn't plan to watch the full clip but somehow did. Editors admit they couldn't help but center Jungkook in their thumbnails, and reporters admit half-jokingly, half-seriously that resisting his pull is nearly impossible. This viral moment also reignites a larger conversation about Jungkook's evolution. From the youngest member of BTS to a global icon whose presence alone can dominate headlines, his journey is reflected in moments like this, not through speeches or performances but through quiet confidence in transitional spaces, airports, terminals, in between places where masks usually fall away. There is something poetic about that. Jungkook doesn't need a stage to captivate, the world becomes his stage the moment he steps into it. As the video continues to circulate, one thing becomes clear: this is not a fleeting trend. It is another chapter in an ongoing narrative, one where Jungkook's influence grows not louder but deeper, not flashier but more grounded. He doesn't chase attention, attention finds him. And so when people say it was the reporter's fault, they are not making excuses, they are stating a simple truth. When Jungkook of BTS walks through an airport, cameras will follow, hearts will flutter, timelines will pause. Not because he asks them to, but because he can't help it.